Hello. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year's on the East Coast. Today it's 9 o'clock. It's 2100 in 10 minutes. It's another day in London, another day in Germany, another day in the European Union, another day in Australia, Oceania, in Asia. I would like to express that 2015 was an outstanding year for our nation, recessions, and our bonds in the governments. There are so many stories to debate about. It's always going to be an object of a year. It's always going to be someone going for athlete of the year, best singer of the year, best actor of the year, best movie seller of the year. It's going to be more of illustration of something. Just go for it. Just aim for it. Go for your best. Go for nominations. So many events out there. So many award shows. So much to get in access to. So much to get invited to. More and more will be fabricated and invented, such as businesses, entrepreneurs, fashion of the year. And fashion is what everybody likes and what everybody's hobbies are. In 2015, there have been considerable news and breaking news, shocking tragedies that was developed recently by some people. I had self news about my family that I was divided into. It was like health issues. It was my dad's problem he had. My dad had to get foot surgery in June because it was tainted. He was diabetic and his left foot was so infected. Probably because he has athlete's foot and he's diabetic. And he has to get treatment care about it. And there's ways you could have prescription medicine for that and have a prescriber for that. You just gotta get an MRA done for it. It's ordinary to Americans for use and expanding it. And it's many causes by nutrition usages. It's always going to be a complication of every different individual of a person. It's part of the human nature. Elections are done for choices and voters. I have stuff to lecture about. It's the adversities that has something to do with disturbance news that we had deteriorated that was appalling. What I will never forget was the racist war. And with the news, that was shocking to the state, to the senators, to the governments in South Carolina. Charleston was a historical church. Back in June, 9 people were slaughtered and killed, like including a pastor who was killed and the other 10 victims that survived. It was a hate crime and it was a domestic terrorism. The suspect name is Dylan Roof. It was a misfortune for the state and the families of the victims. It's sad for their families, sad for their close friends, sad for the state, sad for the city. More acknowledges like Colorado Springs, Waco, Paris, Egypt, and Denmark. There's so many tragedies in this news. The most tragic countries of chaos is Egypt and Turkey, of what I know of. It's disproportionated to argue about that. It was a recent Paris attack, and there's one Paris attack in January. There were 102 of the citizens in one country that were killed, and one from the U.S. that was killed. I went to study abroad. I went to Cal State Long Beach. It, it was just shooting at a restaurant and a theater. The biggest occurrence of terrorism was in Madrid, Spain, 11 years ago. That 191 people were killed and 250 were injured with the Al Qaeda plot. Not worse. It's not like the 9/11. Because one of our biggest attacks was the 9/11 back in 2001. Going back to the history. And one more adversary to discuss about is the San Bernardino shooting that had 14 people that were fatally wounded from the age of 26 to 60 years old. With the terrorist suspects that were born, one man was born in Chicago and one woman was born in Pakistan. And and we had some tragedies overseas in Asia. That Asia has earthquake problems with their fault lines, including China, Japan, and Nepal. And they're not that stable. They're not that stable countries if the floor the earthquakes. What shakes below the ground, the underground, that has a magnitude. The magnitudes are stronger and stronger. And Nepal had a magnitude of 5.0 to 7.9, and an estimate of 9,060 people were killed and 23,000 that were injured. The biggest deaths I noticed automatically was Percy Sledge, the pop singer that was #1 in the Billboard Hot 100s, and Benny King and BB King, the greatest guitar songwriter that wrote couple hundreds of songs on multiple album tracks. It's always people born every day and dying every day, but December 31st, it's always going to be somebody's birthday passed. That don't mean everybody's birthday is passed, because somebody's born today, somebody's born tomorrow. When it's your birthday, that means your birthday passed on the same day. And those are the facts. Those are statistics of people, of human living in the life. Regulations are never going to be the same for the futures. And it's different from the previous past, previous decade, previous century. And what's common on New Year's Eve is people partying, going out to the bar, going out to a show. The best thing to do is go to church, go out to a show, go out to a performance. Don't follow no crowds. Stay away from crowds. Find some reasonable activities that are enjoyable, like hang out with your friends at their house, go to a house party. That's a private event you want to be at, but you always want to be a VIP section, and don't be in the crowds, because nothing's predictable. You have to watch yourself every day. Be aware of your surroundings, and watch the friends you hang out with. Because it's always problems with nightclubs. Fights break out. People passing out. People getting drunk. People getting raped. People fighting in the street. People are acting fools out there. Like Hollywood, California is always so many clubs out there. Couple thousand people. It can always be chaos in that area. I don't recommend you hanging out over there. Don't go out over there. Go to places. Go to parties with people you know. Who you've been around for years, and stick with the same people, like the same event you go to. It's just different locations of it. Hollywood is almost considered like Las Vegas Strip, because events like Hollywood, it's always like events walking in Vegas. But right now, it's cold right now. Bad weather out here. We okay. It's gonna get warmer pretty soon. New Year's is just to celebrate the fireworks. We have to keep people in prayer. In prayer. for people to start growing their lives out in lifestyle. There are all types of parties and all types of music you'll be enjoyable at. Like the biggest performers of the year is Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Adele, One Direction, Maroon 5, and more. It's going to be more young pop singers in this nation. British music has always been popular for decades and decades. Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's not like rock. It's similar as rock. Rock is almost like metal. They use some type of chemicals for music, like guitar, drums, all that. That's the music I grew up with in this nation. And for 2016, tomorrow, I will have a presentation to discuss about. It's about our economics, our economy, my personal welfare, my personal wealth. And we have a farewell for 2015, saying goodbye to this year. Let's start a new year in this resolution. And for 2016, more expandments will be like government funds. Interest rates are going to be on the rise. Jobs increasing. More jobs will be added on a data list. And more minimum wages are going to be rising for employees. We're always going to have growth in our welfare. So get your finances together. Get your wealth together. If you have any financial goals, build up your portfolio. Build up your profile. It's always some type of risk you have to take. But risk your finances wisely. Be cautious with it. Know what you're doing. It takes something to earn something. You exchange your amount to a larger amount. Nothing is always going to be a guarantee. We all going to live in an imperfect world. We all make the right decisions and wrong decisions. So don't feel like the world is too fearful and too trusted. We're all going to live in between of something. So be safe. Enjoy your days. Stay out of danger. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of rest. Be cautious out there. It's always a lot of technology devices.